Okay, back at the Land Rover today, and I am hoping to do the windows. So, yeah, I've got the sealant for it. I've also got the right gun for the sealant, and yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do this afternoon. Okay, so I've got the sealant, got the gun for the sealant. I've got all my shoes there. I've got the what do you call them? The framing parts for the window, top and bottom here. Luckily, they are actually original to this roof, so the holes in the frames line up with the holes that are already in the hardtop. So the trick is, or the tricky bit is, I should say, the frames don't actually push the window glass flat up against this this metal here, the part of the roof. So I've got to find out some way of sort of spacing it slightly apart from the roof to actually get the sealant to come past the glass and over the lip of the window itself. So I'm sure there'll be a little bit of messing around there, but I will show you how I get on. Okay, that's the first one done. It's a little bit tricky, but it's not too bad really. It's just trying to keep the glass clean and you know, not allow the sealant to just go everywhere basically. But if you see from this side, I've pretty much got all of the screws in. It doesn't look as neat from this side. You can see the sealant there. I'm sure this isn't the way they did it in the factory. I think they had some kind of a template or some kind of a stick-on sealant, which isn't this liquid. But anyway, this is how I've got to do it, and it seems to be working out fine. I've put the frame in, put all the screws in, and it doesn't really line up that well, but I'm not too bothered about that. I'm just happy that they're in. So done that side, and now I'm going to move on to this side. Okay, so that's got the second one in. I'm just going to let that sealant go off a little bit before I start cleaning it up. I think I started trying to clean the other side up too quickly. It just creates more of a mess than it's worth really, so I'm going to let that go off a little bit. I've got all the frames in the back, and I'm going to use the time to do a bit more sealing here. When I put this together in the summer, and if you can see, you can probably see, yeah, you can see daylight through there, so I'm going to seal that joint along there, right along the rear tub to the seating box. Okay, so I've got that second window done. Tidied it up as best I can while the sealant is still quite soft. So that's where I'm going to leave it for the while. I've also done, as I just said in the video before, I've also done this seam along here, all the way along there, so that's done now. I'm sure there are other seams to do. I don't think I've got any sealant between the seat box and the sills here either, but yeah, maybe I can do it from underneath. I'll have a look in a bit, but that's that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the rear flap, this section here that I've got over there behind the car, and I'm going to use the opportunity to line up the holes for the catches here, left and right of the door. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, the catches there for the rear flaps. So I'm just going to open those and mark them up, and then this is the part number if anyone's interested in buying the same sort of thing. I've also got to get the chains as well, and the little securing brackets that go on the side of the tub, on the inside of the footwells. But yeah, that's what they look like, and they basically will go. I'll drill a hole through there, and then they'll go on like that. Yeah. And then that will come through, you know, a hole which is already made. Oh dear, you can't really see anything there. It's a bit dark, but yeah, they'll go into that section there. That's where they'll come out anyway. Okay, so I'm just fitting that that latch here. Annoyingly, the largest size metal drill bit I had wasn't quite up to the job, and I just had to make the smaller hole slightly bigger using a different drill bit. But there we are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put some copper ease on this here, just so it goes around on that hole there. I don't really know if it'll make much of a difference, but I tend to just grease the threads where necessary, or where I can. But that, that's not going to pull through now. Ah, yes. Yeah, so that's not pulling through because the thread doesn't quite go all the way to the end of that bolt. Oh, I'm going to have to make that hole bigger. Okay. Okay, so I've just made that hole a little bit bigger, and this catch now fits through there. It's still quite tight, but yeah, it looks just the job. So I'm going to put a bit more grease on there, maybe, for good measure. Go around there, just to stop any water coming in. And then, where's the nut here? There we go. That's the nut and the bolt. It's actually quite a big locking nut here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but that gives... I was just having trouble getting that bolt in there for a minute. And I'll just try and... Can you see that? That thread on that brand new kit, which is a Britpart kit from Paddock Spares, is brand new, and it's totally threaded on the inside of that nut. It's just unbelievable. It's new. So I haven't got another nut that actually fits this, which is rather frustrating, so I'm going to have to get that in the week. So holes are done, that side is in, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating. It's quite a good insight into you know, the restoration work. You order things, and I've got actually a whole box of stuff that I've ordered from either Paddock Spares or, you know, John Craddock or any of the usual suspects, which you know, either I've ordered the wrong thing and it's just far too much hassle to send back, or I've ordered the right thing and they've sent the wrong thing, or I've ordered the right thing, they've sent the right thing and it doesn't fit, or it's broken, or something like this, you know, where a brand new bolt for some unknown reason is completely sheared on the inside, which means I can't use it. But that's the way it is, you know. Whatever you set out to do in a day, you can never expect to achieve it, unfortunately, because things like that usually go wrong. But that side's on, and I've got the hole now, and yeah, it's fine. I'll fit it later. I'm going to fit the door now. I'm going to put the rear door on, and then and I think I'll call it a day after that. But just putting the rear flap on, that one works really well. So that's in there nice and tight. I've just put that in there, basically just for show for this little video, but that's obviously very loose in there. But yeah, once I take this top off in the summer, that will be perfect. So as I mentioned before, I haven't got the chains. Whoops, the chains which fit to the sides here, but I will get those at some point soon. Okay, so door is fitted. Yeah, not much to tell really. Put the retainer down in there. Put a bit of grease on both of these hinges here, and also had to tighten up the hinge which went to the roof a little bit, but otherwise it's difficult to show you really, but yeah, fits really well. Might be able to do a bit of adjustment to pull that in at the bottom there a little bit. It's actually sticking out quite a bit. I wonder why. Yeah, maybe I can take this back a little bit here, do some adjustments, but yeah, otherwise it's looking pretty good, I'd say. Finally got that glass in. Looks so cool. Did a bit of tidying up here, but seems to look all pretty good. Yeah, that is the hardtop finished. Took quite a long time, but yeah, it's done now. Very pleased with that. I've just got to get that that nut there for that catch, and then that hole is filled. But yeah, pretty much there. Just to finish off for the day, I'm going to tighten up these nuts and bolts all the way along the seating box here to the rear tub, and that will finish that job off as well. I'll put the seating back in as well. Okay, so just done a bit of tidying up, and it's pretty much together now. The only thing I have to do with these seat bottoms is I'd like to repair that burn hole there, but also sew on some lashes to the seat base or to the cushion so I can tie it to the seat frame, and then that will finish that off quite nicely. But otherwise, we are pretty much there for today.